Hello, everybody. Welcome to Trans and the Am Friendly Fridays. Today is going to be a little bit of a special one. We have a live episode. We are doing this the Friday before, maybe? I want to say that. Does that sound about right?
I think so.
Yeah. And then this one will probably be going live next or the one after. So I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. But hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today I have with me Ashley. We're going to be talking about all really cool things. How you doing today, Ashley?
I'm doing really good actually. I had a really good day. Everything was a lot of fun.
Oh, nice. If you don't mind, what was so good about today?
I've got my GPU in. I'm finally going to be able to build my PC this week, so that's awesome. I got it for really cheap. I got a 1660 Super, and those normally are like $800, and I got it for 270, which is it's all. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get a PC by the end of the week.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, I saw that where you posted about your graphics card and getting
Hmm.
that, and where you posted about your getting all your parts in and your PC list, the whole thing actually.
Yeah, I've
Like,
been posting so much about it all.
oh, I love it. Honestly, it reminds me of when I was building mine.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
super excited. It's my first PC.
it is really your first one
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah, my first PC. I'm actually a little young. I'm only 18 years old. I've never had a
Oh,
desktop myself. I'm um I've only ever had like a laptop before, and then I had a MacBook, and I sold my MacBook, and now I'm just using my iPad Pro. That's what I have like right here. And I love my iPad Pro, and it's great and it's awesome. But I want to be able to stream and play video games, so I'm building a PC for the first time because I have the money now.
nice. Very good. Yeah, I do like I like other people getting into PC gaming because it seems like for a lot of people, once you get into it, you don't really go back as far as like
Yeah.
trying to like competitive game on a console. I don't know, like it just offers so much more
Well,
control
yeah.
having a keyboard, you know?
Why? Yeah. Why would I play? The only competitive game I play is Overwatch. Why would I play Overwatch on a console? Why would I play a first-person shooter on a console when I can use a mouse?
Right?
Duh.
So good. It is good. But I'm really excited to play Overwatch with you. I haven't
Me
played in a long
too.
time, but I'm a big fan.
I'm I'm so excited. It's the only game I ever play. I've never actually played a competitive game before this. All my favorite games are always like narrative games, always like stuff like Last of Us, stuff like Life is Strange, stuff like Undertale, like To the
Mhm.
Moon, like all games that like really focus on like story over gameplay.
Right.
And now Overwatch is the first competitive game I've ever played, and I just kind of fell in love with it because I love the characters and I think it's a lot of fun. And I'm going to get really good at it. I'm really gonna get good at it. I'm gonna practice. I'm going to dedicate time to it. I'm gonna do it.
I'm excited. Yeah, no, Overwatch is a great game. I remember I was a big fan of League of Legends. This is Kale on
Oh
my
no.
t-shirt. Kale was my favorite champion for a long time. But yeah, I was really into it and into the big esports scene and everything. I wanted to try really hard to get really good at League of Legends, but it just takes so much effort. But um,
Yeah.
I know that a commentator, Monte Cristo from um, League of Legends, originally he went to Overwatch and now he's one of the big casters for Overwatch. Is he still? Do you know? Do you watch the Overwatch League?
I I have no idea. I do not watch the Overwatch League.
Okay,
My entire Overwatch stuff is just playing on my own.
nice.
I like playing the game on my own, and I want to play with friends. I don't have any friends to play comp on console, but now I do have friends to play comp on PC. I'm super excited.
Nice. Hell yeah. No, I'm really excited. Who are some of your favorite characters?
So I mainly play DPS, even though I'm a better tank than I
Hmm.
am. On tank, I main Orisa. I'm such a good Orisa, and then usually if I can't, it's like Roadhog or Diva. Um, on DPS, it really depends. I play a lot. I play most of the characters, but my favorites are Soldier, Tracer, Mei, Echo, and some Ashe. I'm playing a lot of Ashe this season. And then on support, support's probably my worst category. It's like Moira, Zen, Brig in that order.
I feel that. Yeah, Moira's a lot of fun. I like
Moira's
Moira.
a lot of fun.
People still underestimate her damage, I feel. Like
Yeah, she
sometimes
has a
they're
lot of
just like
damage. Yeah,
she really does, especially if you can get that bounce going. Ooh, so good. But
yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. No, I'm really excited. Well, We can go ahead and move into a little bit of a different topic. I'd like to ask you a little bit about your experience with being trans.
Yeah, sure. So I realized I was trans at like 13 or 12, like 2015, around there. It was like New Year's Day when I realized I was trans. And I had this whole plan to come out to my mom. Um, I had this whole plan to like come out to my mom when I was 12 or like 13. Sorry, just get more in frame here.
You're fine.
Um, when I was like the week of, and I did, and she just completely rejected me. She like said, where did I go wrong as a parent? She was like blaming all this stuff. It was really like really bad. um and so I just didn't transition. I was out to everyone. Everybody knew I was trans for 6 years. I just boycotted. I just didn't transition. Like, people would call me Ashley and she, her, and it kind of made me a little uncomfortable because I feel like I didn't like deserve it yet.
Hmm.
And then it was June 2020. I was 17 and I was going into my first year of university, and I just said fuck it. I'm like, I'm going to transition. I told my mom there was nothing she could do about it, and now things are great. I'm 16 months on hormones, 16 months into transition. I have my own place. I have really good friends. I have a wonderful boyfriend and a wonderful girlfriend. I'm really happy with my transition. Just everything's going like really great for me, and I want to like help other people with that, because it sucks. Early transition and pre-transition sucks. They're the worst part. They were the worst parts of my life, and they're the worst parts of so many other people's lives too. It's hard. It's awkward, and I know it. But I know how to help, and I really want to help.
Absolutely. I find that really admirable. I like the idea of helping the community and especially newer people because for a lot of people, that support system doesn't exist. There are still people who are
Yeah.
like reaching out to Chloe who are looking for, solutions for that. So, like, there are always like, until we get to a point where, like, and I don't know if this is going to come for another couple generations, but when, trans people are more normalized and accepted, and we have that kind of support structure in place, like as part of accepted society, I think the need for someone like, you and what you want to do with the community will always exist. So it's good. I think it's good to get into that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I don't know, for them. I think the main things that the trans community needs, to get like that wide acceptance, because like I can do a lot as an individual. I can help individuals, but it's really like it's going to take systemic social change to really get the widespread stuff that we need. And to me, well, one, it's just getting all trans healthcare covered under public health insurance. In the Yukon Territory, everything is covered by the Yukon government. It's just all covered. Everything from voice training to body contouring to facial feminization surgery to therapy. It's all covered. And then uh, sex reassignment surgery is covered nationwide in Canada. I'm going in like a year to get it. To get on, I'm actually on my birthday's on Tuesday. I turn 19, and on Tuesday I'm gonna go have a doctor's appointment to send in my papers to the government to get it covered and start my surgery process.
That's awesome. That's so exciting. Wait, your birthday is this coming Tuesday?
Yeah, literally
Oh,
in 4 days.
oh my gosh. Happy almost birthday. I'm so
Oh,
excited
thank
for
you,
you.
thank you,
I'll have to
thank
remember
you.
to send you like a little special message with a cake emoji or something.
I'll tweet it out probably.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so like because mass social acceptance, because if it's just that easy to get on hormones, like informed consent, and it's covered already, and it's that easy to like pay for surgeries and stuff, well, that's just going to lead to like trans people being happier. They're not going to have as much dysphoria. They're not going to have as much. They're going to have more euphoria. They're going to be able to like live their lives, and it's going to be easier for them to just gain access to medication. Like, more doctors and more resources are going to exist if everything is covered nationwide. So the medical aspect is the first like really big part, and then I think the second big part is going to be like education, and that's going to come from media and schools. If schools can teach kids about like LGBT people and specifically like trans people when they're young, or they just have stories that have trans people in them. And when they learn about like stuff like gender, and when they learn about like attraction in sex ed or in English, when they look at stories, like if you have trans characters portrayed in a positive light, stories by trans people, stuff like that, in those younger grades, in all the way like through high school, that's going to be really, really, really important. You can have like guidance counselors that have to know how to deal with like a trans kid, and you can have teachers have to like know certain things and all that. That's going to be super huge. And then the last thing is like media, just have stories with trans people in them. That's that's just the biggest thing. If you had still popular movies, popular anything with trans people in them, that's just going to normalize it more. Can you imagine if we had like a Hallmark movie about being trans? But it was like it's like a bad movie. It's like it's not like that very good, but it's a Hallmark movie. You watch it with your friends, you rip on it, but just there's a trans character in it. Like we get
Hmm.
to that point, like there's a trans character in the new Marvel movie, or like there's just a story about like a trans high schooler and all that stuff. Like if that becomes normalized, like so much transphobia goes away, because that just gets rid of so much ignorance. Now people just know what they are. They see trans people in a positive light. They have very little reason to be transphobic outside of like ignorance and then bigotry from other people. But if we get like those three things, I think trans people are going to become even more widely accepted all over the place.
Yeah, I agree. That's really well thought out. No, I those are three really good pillars to build a future of support for trans people across the nation, across the world.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is what we really need to be looking into is just building up pretty much the entire community. And not everybody can do everything, and you
Yeah,
know, just focus on your strengths, right? For anybody watching, if you want to like contribute in any way to the trans community, just focus on what you're good at, and
exactly.
yeah.
The best thing like an individual like trans person can do for the trans community is to just be and do themselves. Like if you're a writer and you're trans, but you don't even like, and you just put stuff out there and people read it and like, it doesn't even have to be about trans. Like, you're just like a fantasy writer who happens to
Hmm.
be trans. Like, that's going to be big. Can you imagine if you had someone on like the stage of like George Lucas or um, Jer- um, like J.R.R. Tolkien or George Martin,
Hmm.
like someone on the stage, and they just happened to be trans. Like that's what happens with like gay like that's what happened with gay people. You just had celebrities, you just had people like famous people, people like you just happened to be gay, and that led to a lot like more wider acceptance. That needs to be the case for trans people.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think you're right. And that's why I really appreciate celebrities like, oh gosh, what's his name?
Elliot Page.
Yes, Elliot Page. It just his
Yep.
entire name just blanked from my memory.
Hmm.
But yes, Elliot Page. I really appreciate the things that he's doing,
Yeah.
and like his popularity certainly can be harmful, but I know that he um, approaches it with the intention that he is kind of like by default now a representative of the community, you know?
Yeah.
And it's great because he's trans mask, and that's what we really need to see. And I was talking about this with other people, and I'm still trying to get more trans mask people on my show. So yeah,
Hmm.
if you're trans mask, hit me up. Come on, we'll do an interview.
I'll get Ezra to get
Yes,
I'll get Ezra to come on.
yes,
Ezra would love.
absolutely.
Um, it's weird the different like you have like because like trans masc and trans femme people have different needs when it comes to like the social representation with like trans femme people because we're victimized and we are displayed as predatory a lot more than like trans men are, so a lot of the stuff that we need is just pure um like positive stories about trans femmes being themselves, like being a trans woman. We need just stories like that. And that's going to be like something super big. With like trans mask people, a lot of the issues that they face and a lot of the transphobia is like infantilization, stuff like, oh, they're just lost girls that have been like corrupted by whatever. Um, and the I think a way that we could like do that is like have like trans men and just like masculine roles and such like that. Like in like action movies, just like have like casually trans men in it, and there you go. Um, that would be that those are and they're slightly different because the transphobia that we face is slightly different. There's different ways people are transphobic to us, different ways we need to like approach it, but the general thing is we just need more trans stuff in general. If it's a trans thing, if you're a trans person and you're sad about the fact that there's no trans media out there, make some yourself because no one
Yeah,
else is going to do it.
absolutely. 100%. Well, and I was talking about this with another guest is that, I wish I was talented in some form of art, because I would love to just like do all the things but trans, I want to do all the things but in a trans way. And
Yeah, absolutely.
um, so instead, I find that, being able to give other people a platform to tell their stories, I think that's important too. I think we just need to hear more from more trans people. We just need like to
Hmm.
hear from all the trans people and their experiences. We need that out there. And so
Yeah.
that's why I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience here with us.
Well, thank you. I think but the thing is it's often that when you get trans voices on, it's like by trans people for trans people, and that's great and all. And I wish there was more of that. I wish there was more media and more stuff by trans people for trans people, but that's not going to be the totality of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need cis people to just have trans characters in their stuff. We do like we need just like trans people just being people. Doesn't even
Mm-hmm.
have to be about the fact that they're trans. They just have to like be people in um other in just everyday life and other things. Because if we have like trans if all we get is like trans media for trans people, well, that's good, but that a lot of that stuff stays underground. It stays really
Mm-hmm.
niche.
Right.
And to get the exposure, like you just need as many trans characters out there as possible.
Right.
And I really hope we see like cis people like write trans characters or just have a trans characters casually trans in their story. And the moment that that starts happening is I'll be so happy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I want to see more trans characters in all forms of media.
Hmm.
Honestly, and I want to see like trans news anchors even. I want to see
Hmm.
them in everyday life. I can go into a coffee shop and pretty reliably find at least one queer person, but
Yep.
I want to see more visibly queer, more visibly trans people everywhere, and especially in positions of power. Because that's important too, is to have that
Hmm.
that level of representation. I know when I was speaking with Sorvia, she had mentioned that when she was working, her work had reached out to her for opinions on how to do their trans policies, and I thought that was really cool. I wish more companies would do something like that. Um,
Yeah, I
Actually,
like that
like,
though. I like it a lot.
yeah, like talk to your trans employees about what you need. Like, it
Hmm.
seems pretty obvious, honestly.
Yeah, like we know what we want, we know what we need, we know what needs need to be addressed. Um, and like cis people can do things with trans people in them. Just like ask us, because trust me, like we'll let you know. And it's always better to just ask us and be like, hey, did I do something dumb? And the answer is, well, probably yeah. Maybe you want to fix this thing, and try, but it's just gonna make your shit better. It's gonna make it make more sense.
Hmm.
Just it's very easy. Trans people are everywhere. Go on Twitter. There's 1,000 of them. There's a
Oh yeah.
billion of them. They all congregate together. Trust me, we are clamoring to give opinions. We desperately want to see trans people in our stuff.
Oh
Please
yeah.
ask us. We will tell you what we want.
100%. Yeah, I am very vocal at my place of employment. I have no qualms about saying what I want and what I need. So,
I
yeah.
wish. I'm still very like shy and I guess kind of like ashamed of the fact that I'm trans. I have a lot of internalized transphobia, and
Mhm.
so I wish I was like I could be openly trans. Like Ezra's like openly trans. He just got a mask that had like a trans flag on it. I could never do that. I could never wear a pronoun pin or wear like a trans pride flag anywhere.
Hmm.
I wish I could, but that stuff is like really scary and terrifying for me.
I think it'll come with time. I,
It will come with
yeah,
time.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
Then, oh, sorry, you go.
no,
I
you
didn't
go
have
ahead.
anything to say. I didn't have anything to say.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to talk about? Do you have any like hobbies or interests that you're doing right now besides the Overwatch?
Yeah, sure. So my main hobbies are speed cubing. I solve different types of Rubik's cubes at as fast as I can. I really like the regular one, and I really like the three by three, and I really like square one. It's a little bit of a weird one. It shapeshifts. It's my favorite. And then also, I'm a musician. I'm a double bass major in music. I sing bass in my choir. I'm actually the lowest voice in my choir. Would you believe that? I'm the low. I have the lowest range out of anyone in my university choir.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
You want to give
I
us a
think that's
little
pretty cool.
sample? Lucy Chord's
Oh my,
watching.
oh, that's true. That is so true. I'll have to pull up my piano. I'll just sing some notes. I don't have any. I ooh, mm, ooh, ooh, I can't do the C. I can do a D. Ooh, oh, oh, some
Nice.
some oohs.
Very nice. I like that a lot. No, I mean the range is gonna be very nice.
Mhm.
Like I know you're practicing thin voice and all that stuff.
I'm
Once you
not.
get like you're not your name on Twitter for the longest time was Ash's voice training.
No, it was Ash needs to voice train. I never
Okay.
did.
You
I
never
have not
did.
voice trained.
Never
I have not
did.
voice trained in
Uh-oh.
months and months. I can. It's weird. I can give someone a voice lesson. I can't. I will not do my girl voice. I
Yeah.
don't even have really like a girl voice, but I can like give someone a voice lesson.
Oh.
I like know a lot of the theory. I like is just I'm very familiar with how the larynx like works.
Mhm.
Being like in choir, and I've been consuming trans femme voice training resources for like 5 years at this point. I've seen
Mhm.
every guide, I've taken lessons, I've taken paid lessons, and I can do certain vowel shapes at the right tone and everything. I'm just not practiced at it, so it's strained. I'm not getting clear sound. Um, but I can like demonstrate all the exercises. I can demonstrate all the important stuff. I actually know like a lot about it.
Nice. That's really cool. Do you watch oh, what's her name? Is it Z from Trans?
Yeah, Z. I have seen every single one of Z's videos like four times, five times. I've seen her whole catalog. I know them in and out. I know exactly like what like she believes in, her whole methods and stuff. I've had multiple lessons with Chloe. I had a lesson with Addie, who is their voice trainer on a voice training server.
Hmm.
I had that a couple weeks ago, and they had said that like I have the ability to do a really good girl voice. I don't have any practice of talking up there, so it's really strained and it's not like the
Right.
best. But I can do all the exercises, I know all the theory, I know all the concepts, I know the important pillars, I know how to practice at it and know what's important to practice at. Like I
Hmm.
said, I can like reliably like give a voice lesson if anyone wanted to.
Nice. That's really cool. I mean, if you're offering.
Hey, I will give a voice lesson to anyone who wants me to. I'll literally do it. I'll work through some exercises. I'll do everything. I actually love it. It's kind of cool. I
Yeah.
like voice stuff a lot. Yeah. Oh my gosh, shut up. Chloe's just talking to me in the other room.
Well, speaking of Chloe, you know,
Mhm.
from what I understand, it's right around, and you're getting close. It's right around the 3 year mark that the estrogen starts to change your voice. So you've only got a little bit left with the
Oh,
deep voice. Yeah,
damn. I can't wait till estrogen changes my voice.
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited. I'm on the starting. I'm almost like halfway through my second year. So you know what? Maybe in the future,
Yeah.
it's coming, and I won't have to do any of this voice training. I love estrogen and its effect on voice.
You're gonna wake up one day and it's just gonna be instantly different, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my
Oh man,
God!"
I wish the amount of times Chloe memes about like estrogen and like voice training and all that stuff. I'm sad. It makes me sad. I am jealous of her voice. Her voice is very good.
Yeah, Chloe's voice is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Honestly, blows me away.
yeah.
Um, but yeah. Well, now that we've covered the major topics, I guess we could open it up to questions from the audience. Does anybody have any questions for Ash? I'm blushing and Ash can see me. Also, might as well go ahead and take the time to thank everybody who followed. If you followed, I don't have a notification here for you. I'm sorry, but thank you. If you followed, thank you. I appreciate it. Ash, why are you
Yeah.
so based? Chloe Hoey asks.
I am that. It's just a fact of life. I'm sorry to inform you guys.
Just a fact of life. You were born based.
It is.
Did you have a based
I was
birth?
born based. I don't know if I was born based, but um, I don't think I was born based. My parents have very weird political opinions. My dad's kind of like he's a weird anti-vaxxer type. He's like a climate denier type. And my mom is a she hates welfare. That's pretty much the extent of her political opinions is that she hates welfare. Um, so I've always been like left leaning or liberal though. I've never agreed with my parents on much. We've always argued and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess maybe 5 out of 10 on the base birth scale.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think you're 9 out of 10 on a base scale. How about that?
I will take that. What do I got to do to get the 10th point?
You have to play a game of Pokemon Unite with me.
I have never played Pokemon Unite in my life, but I absolutely will play a game of Pokemon Unite with you.
All
I don't
right.
even know what Pokemon Unite is. I know nothing about it.
Oh, it's amazing. Everybody in Lucy Cord's playing it. I'm Pokemon Uniting Pill everybody.
Oh, I know. Every time I join the voice chat, y'all, there's like 10 people in it. They're all playing Pokemon Unite.
Okay, let's go back to questions. Okay. Tell Ash I love her. Lucy said 420 says. Hi, Lucy.
Thank you. I love you too.
Tori, thank you for the tier 1 subscription. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Tori says, Ash is way more base than I was at 18. Yeah, I totally feel that. 100%.
Yeah,
Like, I was so unbased at
I
18.
I got into I've been doing online politics since I was like 13 years old. There was the election in Alberta in 2015. We had a provincial election. It was the first time the Conservatives lost in 43 years. They lost to the NDP because of super complicated political politics. That's really funny, but they lost, and that's what got me interested in politics because I was like, damn, these NDP people sound pretty cool. They're like on the left. I like that. They're like green energy stuff. I like that. They want to shut down coal plants. I like that. They want to raise the minimum wage. That's super cool. Um, and so that's what got me into like politics. And then I've just been like I've been interested in politics and very well informed since then.
Nice. Yeah, I can't say that I've been in politics that long. I've been in Pokemon for
I
about
said
that long.
provincial politics. Oh my God.
Provincial
Chat, leave me alone. I
politics.
said provincial politics. Do you want me to go into like a 3 hour rant about Alberta provincial politics? It's boring, but it's funny.
We certainly could set that stream up if you wanted.
Oh my God. I'm going to give an Alberta history lesson.
Let's
Oh,
fucking
that's
do
going to be
it.
fun.
Let's do it.
I have a friend. I met a trans girl and I helped her get on hormones through my university, and she's taking a post-Confederacy history lesson on Canada. So she knows pretty much all about the gaps in my Alberta history that I don't know a lot about. I know pretty much since the start of the Social Credit Party after the Second World War onwards, I'm pretty okay, but before that, I know nothing.
Interesting. Well, I know even less than that of Canadian politics, so you've already
Canadian
impressed
politics is
me.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Trophy says, as an old lady, I'm just really impressed at the amount of community give back you're doing. Keep being amazing.
Oh, thank you, Trophy. It was it was hard for me, and but it doesn't have to be. And I know how to help people, and I want to help people. It makes me happy. So why should I do anything else?
That's right. No, I like that attitude. I empathize with that deeply. Chloe asks, Ash, do you think I pass?
I do. Yes, your voice passes. She asks me that like 4 times a day, by the way. Maybe more. She asks me that like every hour on the hour.
Are you her
It's
fluffer?
very
Is that
common.
it? You're her ego
I
fluffer?
I I need to get. She needs the validation.
Um, Hannah asks, Ash, DC is already taking steps with trans characters. They have an openly trans hero in their shows. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Who's
I
that?
saw some, I don't know, I know nothing about it, but I saw a little bit of that, and that's super nice. It sucks that like DC shows are like, in terms of on the media popularity hierarchy, DC shows are really, really, really low. Like their most popular one in recent memory was Young Justice, and even that wasn't that big. So I'm hoping some bigger cartoons and bigger networks like pick that stuff up. You saw Steven Universe do a lot of non-binary stuff, but no like explicitly trans stuff. So I'm really hoping someone soon picks up trans characters and tells a trans story. And I think it will. I think it will. I
Yeah.
think that you'll see that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to come a little bit quicker than we all expect. At least hopefully. I'm hopeful in that
Hmm.
regard. So,
Me too.
um, Lucy says, talk about the rats in Alberta.
Yeah, there are no rats in Alberta. If you pull up a map of rats in the world, there is an Alberta-sized cutout because there are no rats in Alberta, but there are rats in everywhere else in the world except Alberta.
Why are there no rats in Alberta?
So the first reason why there's no rats in Alberta is because northern Canada and the prairies are not very hospitable to rats. The winters are just very rough, and there's not like a lot for them to do here. But also, Alberta back in the 40s, 50s had a huge pest control program that is still ongoing. And basically, they eliminated all rats and all rats nests in then, and we've been rat free for like 60 years.
Wow.
I'm literally not kidding. Um, you can like look up a map, and it's the Alberta size cutout, and it's super
Huh.
funny. People not from Alberta like fucking they laugh every single time. It's so good.
That is pretty funny. That's odd. Obviously, that's probably not counting pet rats, right?
No, but
Yeah,
like usually,
sure.
we don't really have. I haven't met anyone who's had a pet rat. I've met a lot of people who have exotic pets like snakes and stuff like that,
Hmm.
but never a pet, never a rat.
Oh, rats are really cute, actually, and they're also really, really intelligent. I
I do
knew.
not like rats.
Oh,
They're big
really?
and
Oh,
hairy.
I didn't
I'm
like
not
them
an
at
animal
first
person.
either,
I really
but
do not like animals.
you don't like animals?
I don't.
What's
I'm
your
not an
least
animal
favorite
person at all.
animal?
My least favorite animal, probably a horse or a bug. One of the two.
Ooh, a horse.
I've been to like camps, and I've lived in the rural Alberta my whole life, and I went to
Hmm.
summer camps. So I've done a lot of like horseback riding, and I've been
Oh,
like around stables and everything. It's one of my
yeah.
least favorite environments. I do not like farms. I don't like rural. I don't like the countryside. I was a city girl born way out in the fucking middle of nowhere.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I grew up in Kentucky in pretty much the same environment. We took field trips every like 3 months to a horse farm for no reason. Like every time I smell that fucking manure, it just takes me back
I know.
immediately.
Oh my
It's,
God.
oh, no, it's so
Yeah,
bad.
or fucking just like knowing how to like intuitively dodge all the horse shit on the road because that's just where the horse do the walking stuff.
Yeah. Um, Daisy asks, is it true in Edmonton they eat gasoline and lynx?
We do not eat gasoline, and I've never heard of someone eating lynx. That's I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of someone eating like bobcat or cougar. There was a cougar once outside my house. There was like a whole warning for my whole like area back when I lived in the country. But it's not typically like stuff we. I know like my stepdad is a hunter, so we've had a lot of elk. We've had some deer. I remember we had moose once. We have two bear hides up. We have like ruffled grouse. I love ruffled grouse. So good.
What's you said it was a ruffle graph?
Ruffled grouse. It's a type of
Ruff.
duck bird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm fond of duck. I'd try that. Um, this Toxic X says, Lucy STFU, you're gay.
That's true.
Okay.
Lucy's
Yeah,
very gay.
okay. Uh, Lucy asks, worst province in Canada?
Probably Saskatchewan. There's nothing there.
Oh,
It's
well,
flat. It's flat. There's like not a lot there. I have family there, and the cities there are just there's nothing to do in either of them, and the cities are just not good built cities. There's a lot of dead towns. There's like nothing redeeming about it. Even if you're like a true Albertan and you hate Quebec with all your passion, like even Quebec has like a lot of redeeming qualities. Montreal and Quebec City are beautiful.
hmm,
The countryside's like just absolutely gorgeous. Poutine is great. Hockey. There's a real like it's a really nice culture, even if you fucking hate Quebec. But Saskatchewan, there's just nothing.
yeah. It sounds
No
like
redeeming
Arkansas.
and all bad.
Just
Yeah.
like flat, nothing there. Yeah, okay.
hmm
Fair enough. Well, also asks best Evangelion character.
Um. Pro- Uh, I God, that's a hard one. I think I don't know. I tend towards Shinji most of the time, mainly because the show is like actually no, that's a lie. It's Gendo. Gendo's the best character. I like Gendo a lot. Gendo's the best character. Especially his little ending stuff at the additional impact at the end of 3.0 plus 1.0. That stuff was really 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 good. I really appreciated that. It was my favorite part of the rebuilds. And I just really like all the stuff that goes on with him. I would say Shinji because I relate so much with like a lot of like Shinji's like rejection sensitive disorder and his anxiety and his like whole hedgehog dilemma thing. But it's just Shinji was kept in the dark about the entire plot of the show. So when the plot of the show happened, like when End of Evangelion happened, he didn't understand a single thing that was going on. He didn't understand anything about anything until Misato told him in the movie. So like, and that was like one of the most interesting parts to me. So the fact that Shinji just was completely had nothing to do with it. Eh, well, good good luck. All this stuff to do with like him and instrumentality and stuff is great though.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's a deep character, honestly. I like seeing his growth through the show, and like obviously the ending is the culmination of that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it was a little bit disappointing. To, uh, I mean, it's a story, right? I love it. It's a good story.
I love Evangelion. The end of Evangelion is my favorite movie. I was just disappointed by the rebuilds. They just took too long to do all the great points in the rebuild. They had a lot of great points, but it was just it. There's a lot of time that it was just kind of okay.
Oh yeah.
I
Um,
just wish like things took shorter. But End of Evangelion is perfect. I think it's absolutely perfect. There's no movie that'll ever be like that movie again because that movie is fucking insane. It is the most batshit thing ever animated.
Damn. I need to go back and rewatch all of Evangelion. It's been so long since I've actually seen it.
You should. It's really good.
I will actually. My partner hasn't seen it at all, so we need to watch it together.
Oh, that'll be nice. Don't worry about the weird like CP stuff because it's an anime and the characters are 14 and it's really it gets it's well it's an anime.
Yeah, it's an anime. I mean, we watched Elfen Lied, so it's
I've not heard of F1 Lead, but I think that's similar.
well, we call it the piss anime because the girl pisses on herself a lot. It's a thing.
Oh
But
my god,
anyway,
yeah. Well, that's anime for you.
yeah, I mean it's anime. Um, Lucy says, "Oh yeah, fuck farms, love horses though." Yeah, same. Um, oh, this toxic X says, "Ash, say, oh yeah, you betcha."
Oh yeah, you betcha.
Oh yeah, you betcha. Let's
Oh yeah,
see.
you betcha.
Do we have any
Alberta
other
sounds like a trans
questions?
name. I knew a girl named Alberta. She was not trans, but her name was Alberta. She was not born in Alberta.
Oh, really? That would have
Yeah,
been funny though, huh?
that would have been a little funny. Kind of
Yeah.
weird though. Why would you wanna? Eh.
Um, Let's see. Lucy says most fem-brained trait.
Like my most fembane trait? I don't know.
Sure.
I feel like my that things I do with my hands all the time. I move my hands a lot. Those can be like pretty fem. I think the fact that I'm like getting super into fashion. I love clothes shopping. Clothes shopping is my favorite thing ever. I love just trying on clothes and just buying clothes. I bought clothes today and I was so happy. I bought like some Lululemon leggings. I got like a bodysuit. I got a new winter jacket. I'm so
Oh,
happy.
nice.
Um yeah, shit's good.
Um,
Shut up. Clothes shopping is the best.
huh?
Nothing.
Clothes shopping is the best. Yeah, no, I
Chloe's
agree.
Chloe in
Um,
chat.
I still need to actually go get clothes. I need to buy a lot more. It's just so
Buying
much
clothes is
work.
so much fun. It is work, but it's so much fun. It's like so refreshing for me just walking around.
Mm-hmm. Chloe asks, Ash, why don't you let me inject you with more estro?
You can't. I just don't have any anxiety over it anymore. I used to have like really bad injection anxiety where I would like skip days and I'd like have like a breakdown over it. And so I like get like Chloe to do it, but now I don't. Now I like injecting it again. So sorry, Chloe. Uh, no,
Is she
you can
breaking
inject a
down over
girl's
there?
tea. Yeah,
Poor
she is
Chloe.
breaking down hard,
I'm sorry,
cloping
Chloe.
hard.
If it makes you feel any better, you can inject me anytime you want, Chloe. Um, so let's expand upon that a little bit because I hear that from a lot of trans people that they had nerves surrounding injections or that they were afraid of needles or something. What steps did you take to kind of get past that?
So it was kind of weird. The first couple months I was on injections, I had no anxiety over it. It was super easy. And then I don't know, I guess I just kind of psyched myself up, and I guess just in my head, like the injection, I never had a fear of needles, but I was just more of like, oh, I'm doing an injection, and it just kind of like got more and more like big in my head that it was like this huge thing, and I got like really scared of like doing that. But so when the injection anxiety got like super big, it was I think a lot of the reasons mainly because I just couldn't do it on schedule. I was just really, really depressed. The first couple this summer was like the best summer of my life because I was actually moved out and I was like transitioning and everything was great. But I was so depressed that I just did like I had so much anxiety about like so many different things. So like injections was just something I put so much anxiety into over. And so what like helped me was one being on subcutaneous injections. The needles are shorter and they don't hurt. Like intramuscular is fine and there's like no difference between the two, but it's the needles are a little longer and to me they hurt and subQ doesn't. So that's what that was the main thing that helped was just going back to subQ. I guess the other thing is just like put on something funny, like something like a 1 minute clip that like you know that you like laugh at, and then like put that on, and then just do the injection. Just do it in and do it quick, and then it's out and it's fine, and it doesn't actually hurt that much. It barely hurts. Sub-Q doesn't hurt at all. You barely feel it, and IM is just a sting.
Yeah, and even with those injections, sometimes you can get a little bit more sting if you don't wait for the alcohol to dry. So yeah, you want to make sure you like dry it off too, if you're
Yeah.
worried about it stinging. But no, that's a great tip actually, not one that I've heard before. Kind of distract yourself, with something that you
Hmm.
know you'll enjoy while you do it.
Yeah.
That's a really good tip. Um,
Hmm.
let's see. Daisy asks, "What is the most fem brain trait?"
What is the most femme brain trait? Um, hugging, like platonically touching your friends, like hugging them and just like putting your arms on them and like lying on them. In my experience, like that's the thing that separates guys and girls the most. Guys will not touch each other no matter what. They'll do their best. If they're sitting on a couch, they will do their very best to not touch each other. Girls, though, they will literally just be all over like each other, and it's just because I don't know, like they're more. It's just more like socially um expected for girls to like show emotions in guys so they can just do stuff like that and they don't have the same like no homo type deal. The amount of straight guys I've seen do no homo on like just like hugging and shit is like actual unironic like no homos. It's so weird. Like get over yourself, dude. Like, oh my God.
Hmm. Yeah, actually, that kind of brings me into another topic that I think we've caught up on questions here, so we can go into something else for a minute. But um, I wanted to ask you a little bit about polyamory, if you're okay with talking about that.
Yeah, no, I'm perfect. I'm perfectly okay with talking about that.
I had a little bit of an experience with it. I dated someone who was polyamorous, myself not having any experience with polyamory up to that point. And one of the things that she kind of said to me to explain it in a way that I was able to understand was that there are many different kinds of love that you can feel, and that it's important to acknowledge all these different kinds of love, and that it's a little bit naive to think that all of your needs as a person would be met by one individual person, and that some people have needs where they feel that level of love for multiple people. So I just kind of wanted to get your perspective on how you feel about polyamory, and your experience with it.
Yeah, so I'm polyamorous. I am dating Ezra. I met him in high school, and we've been dating for almost 3 years now. And we moved in together in June. And then, and I think it was like around the end of August, me and Ezra had a conversation where we were both like, there's no one I'm like crushing on like right now, but if the other person approached and wanted to ask for an open relationship and not like non-monogamous, we'd be okay with that. We had that conversation like late at night or something. And then just from there, I had started talking to some friends, being like just like doing like casual romantic stuff. And then Ezra started dating Alex. She's a coder from Winnipeg, and she's awesome. She's super cute. Ezra definitely is a type. Trans girls with nerd trans girls with curly hair.
Hmm.
So Alex's hair is much curlier than mine. And then it was like 3 weeks, a month ago, I started dating Lucy. Um, and it's just to me it's just been the greatest thing because nothing about me and Ezra's relationship has changed. No matter if I'm being like casually romantic with someone, if I'm being like in a fully committed relationship, because
Hmm.
that's like okay, this is something super 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 important. Um, with polyamory and anyone who's like new to any kind of non-monogamous action, is that there is very much a difference between non-monogamy and polyamory. Being in an open relationship where you're just hooking up with other people, being casually romantic, flirting, and all that, that's one thing. Um, and there are people who are completely okay with that, but then they're not able to be in multiple committed relationships, and that's polyamory. And it's a super important distinction. I am polyamorous because I can be in multiple committed relationships, and it's great and I love it. But like maybe in the future there will be times where I don't have the energy to be in two committed relationships. I know other people don't have the energy to be in two committed relationships. They don't have the time, don't have the responsibilities to be that, so they are in one or they're in none, but they're with multiple people at varying levels of seriousness. And as long as you're like aware of it and you're communicating with everyone involved, like it's all going to be great because as long as like that the other person understands what your feelings are, even if you're confused about them, that like washes away so much conflict and it's just a lot easier to deal with all of that. And for me, um, polyamory has not taken away the love I can give to Ezra at all, or the love Ezra can give to me. It's like my relationship with Lucy and my casual romantic encounters are just added on to the totality of like my romantic experience. I don't have to take anything away from Ezra to be with Lucy in a way that I can devote my full attention to her as much as I can. And I think that's really beautiful and amazing. And I'm really happy that I get to be with her and also Ezra, who's totally okay with it and has his own girlfriend. It's amazing.
That's
It's really, really
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm really glad that that is a relationship dynamic that works out for the benefit for everyone involved.
Hmm.
That's really impressive. How do you deal with? I'm sure in some In some polyamorous relationships, of course, just like there are with any relationships, there are feelings of jealousy that come up. Um, how would you go about managing something like that in a polyamorous relationship if one of your partners is jealous of another one?
That's not like in terms of jealousy, just well, first of all, I guess if you're in a polyamorous or you're in like a non-monogamous relationship and you're experiencing any feelings of jealousy, be like upfront and be understanding of the fact that like if you're in an open relationship, you have to realize that you can't just dictate what their romantic involvement is going to be, but let it be known, be like, hey, I'm feeling some things of jealousy when you're with this person, and then you can like talk over it, and then they can like reassure you, and that can like help you deal with jealousy and get over jealousy and stuff like that. Um, if you're personally feeling jealous, just talk, like communication. Oh my god, I can't express how important communication is, especially when it comes to non-monogamy and polyamory. If you're not communicating, like things are going to get lost, there's going to be misunderstandings, and that's where conflict's going to come in, and that's what you want to avoid. Because as long as you can like avoid conflict by just communicating your wants and make sure everyone's on the same page, and you do it like calmly and nicely and with love, it should go well, and it's always gone well for me whenever I have to deal with like issues with this. I've never like experience jealousy.
Mhm.
I'm admittedly pretty new to this. It's the middle of November. I've only been in an open relationship for a couple months, so I'm not like some polyamory expert.
Mhm.
But if I were to feel jealous, or if my partners were to feel jealous, it was just I hope that we could like talk about it, come to a compromise, come to some sort of resolution. Because usually, if it's feelings of jealousy, it's like me being with this other person is making them feel like I'm not giving them enough love or attention. And in that case, I can just give them more love and attention, and I don't have to take anything away from other people. And that can solve the jealousy problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. It seems like a lot of these problems can simply be solved by just being honest and open with each other and not being afraid of being honest. And I think that is what a lot of people get hung up on more than anything is not them being honest, but necessarily the fear of what might come if they're honest with their feelings. And I think it's that fear that can kind of paralyze us in relationships and cause us to make bad decisions.
Yeah, um, a lot of stuff, a lot of conflict just comes from misunderstanding and
Mm-hmm.
miscommunication. Because so many times, like you see this a lot. Like this is doesn't have to do with polyamory, but you see it a lot on Twitter where people will argue when they agree, but because they just can't word their thoughts
Mm-hmm.
correctly, they end up getting like really into like semantics, and they end up getting into like really like niche stuff that they don't even really disagree over. They just have different ways of conceptualizing the same the same idea. So just I think it's absolutely worth it for people to just sit down and take time to really try and make the language and the vocabulary they're using match what's going on in my head. Um, and if you can like do that, that just avoids so much unnecessary conflict. Every single conflict I've had on Twitter, 95% of them come from the fact that that someone was being inflammatory, someone was like
Mm-hmm.
very often it's usually not disagreements.
Yeah. No,
And even if it is, it's like smaller semantic ones.
well, I mean, and you'll see that like I mean, Destiny uses that to his advantage, where he'll get into some like minute or disagreement or something with somebody on Twitter, and then bring them on stream for some content, and then turns out
Mhm.
they agree on pretty much all the points, and that
Yep,
it,
exactly.
yeah,
I Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why I don't like Destiny. I've never watched his stream, so I can't tell you what he's like on stream. But
yeah,
dude's goddamn asshole on Twitter, and he just not barely so many things. And if all because like if all I see is a dude being an asshole on Twitter, I'm not gonna watch his stream. And if when I say when I like criticize Destiny for something he said on Twitter, and he said no, you're misrepresenting his position. He actually said this on stream. Well, maybe Destiny shouldn't Mont and Bailey and be a dick and bait on Twitter. Like it's just no, like why do I want to interact with like an asshole? It's just not fun. There's nothing to gain. Just
hmm
personally, I don't even care.
right. I think there was another couple questions here.
Sure, let's go.
Oh, somebody wanted to know where you got your top.
Oh, I got this I think I might have got it at Sudia. It's this Canadian clothing store. I really like it. So, but if you want something similar, like what you want to look for is you want to look for like the white and black stripes, obviously, but they have like these little curled frills on the ends. You can kind of see like right here,
Hmm.
and it also has it on the bottom of the shirt.
Oh,
Like you can see like these little like curls, and then also I don't know if you can see it very well, but the pattern is like ribbed, like ribbed
oh
like up and
yeah.
down.
Uh-huh.
Most of my shirts, if you see it, if you like look at like my pictures or like selfies online, most of the tops I wear are all like these like ribbed like up and down patterns.
Hmm.
That's like the fabric it's made out of. So even if you can't find this exact shirt, that's the traits of the shirt that you're gonna want to look for.
Nice. Yeah, I like the little ribbon kind of on the sleeves, and I like the texture. If it's the kind of texture that I'm thinking of, yeah,
Hmm.
I really like textured shirts like that. They're so much fun.
Yeah, no, I love them. All my shirts are like this specific texture because I love it so much.
Oh, it's so good. Let's see. Oh, what else we got? Do poly people need to remember multiple anniversary dates, or do they just celebrate the founding date of the polycule?
Um, I mean, it really depends person to person. I have my date with Ezra. I'm gonna be completely honest. I am very, very bad with dates. I don't know anybody's birthday. I don't know anyone's like anniversary day. Um, so it's just not something I've ever really kept a lot of track of.
Fair. Yeah, fair. I've gotten in trouble for forgetting a whole bunch of dates. Actually, I'm just now going through and putting all of my family and friends in my Google Calendar for their birthdays. Because I'm getting up there in age, I'm going to hit that fucking. I'm going to get that plaque in my brain and start forgetting stuff. So,
Hmm.
let's see. What else? What else? What else we got? Chloe is having a good time memeing in the chat, asking
Oh, of course she
if
is.
people want. Bro, you want me to touch your girl hog? Bro, is this okay with you, bro?
Yeah, that's classic Chloe. She's always talking about girl hog and all that shit.
Oh, I know it. I love it though.
Yeah, the ironically horny. Trust me, Chloe, she's never horny. Never. It's only
Never.
irony.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We see through you.
Likely story. Well, apparently, I guess Chloe says, I didn't know Ash's birthday was this Tuesday until today.
That is not true.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Chloe's trolling. As usual.
She's trolling a little bit.
As
She's always
usual.
trolling.
Well, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about? We could wrap up if you're short on time.
I'm absolutely not short on time, but I had a couple people wanted me to um a couple people wanted me to elaborate on the whole like Willow discourse from earlier, and
Okay.
this is what I'll say because I want to like say it in speech because it's a lot better on Twitter. Um, basically all the stuff that I said, I agree with like the underlying take, but my wording was like really bad, and the rhetoric and stuff was just like really really bad and poor, and people don't know like my history and stuff. They don't know who I am. They just see like some random white person like saying she's racist, but so I totally get why people dogpiled me, and I was just hostile at the beginning because the last time I had to deal with discourse around Willow, I got really mad. And normally I'm very much not mad when it comes to the word discourse, and I do it productively, but this time just wasn't. So I'll explain what I meant. Um, People were circulating the old tweets. I think the ones where she was saying that she was like
Uh-huh.
scared of black people or something like those ones from like 3 or 4 months ago. And I said you should shut the fuck up about Willow for two reasons. And the reasons is that one, these specific screenshots, we had gone over them 4 or 5 times. I was literally in that original thread, calling her out and shaming her for being like a racist piece of shit. And we've done like every month we like circle jerk over these tweets that yeah, like Willow's a bad person. Like yeah, we get it. We don't need to. We're just like circle jerking and bullying and harassing. And the second thing is like Willow got like yeah, she did she said a lot of stuff. She hurt a lot of people. She hurt me. She hurt a lot of my friends. But she also received a lot of death threats and a lot of harassment. Like a lot of genuinely shitty stuff happened to her. And there's no reason to talk about her anymore. Like she's gone onto a private account. She doesn't have any interactions with anything. Um, and talking about her only makes everyone else feel bad because they remember all the shitty things she did. They makes her feel bad because people are like talking about her and like saying that they wish she would die. Um, like there's literally nothing to be gained by talking about Willow, and I wish I had worded my statements better so that no one was talking about Willow today. And now, but like a lot of people are saying I'm like defending a racist when I didn't defend anything she says. I do not like Willow at all. I very much don't. She fucking does. She said a lot of shitty things, but I mean, like, what are you gonna do? It's Twitter. People are gonna be mad at you, and people are dumb. People are dumb. And I had a really good conversation actually with Jordan, some black lefty. I had a really good conversation, and he like he was talking about how like on the left there's a lot of like blind spots about like race, which is just true. Like you don't have a lot of like big black lefties who are like really like big in the space and who like talk about like race like quite often, um, and a lot of like popular like black lefties on Twitter are can be like some like they're usually like MLs or reactionary sometimes. Um, like they're like someone I really like is T1J, the one janitor. He's got a lot of really great videos on YouTube. I love his stuff. But like he just makes some like casual video essays. There's not a lot of like good stuff out there. And so we had a whole conversation about that stuff. And it's something I wish that like it's something I need to do better, but it's something I wish like a lot of people on the left, especially on like the online left, just need to be more aware of. They're not taking the issue as seriously as like they should, because like it's like, oh yeah, well obviously like you shouldn't be racist, and then they see a conservative straw man of like land back, and they're like, all land back is ethnic deportation, and you get into just some really like dumb stuff on the left. And like I have some specific experience. I'm Métis. My family, some of my family's Cree. I've been to like protests. I do some volunteering. I've been to like IRL like land back stuff. Like I'm a part of the Alberta Métis Association. I've lived next to reserves. I've lived in these communities. I'm part of the First People's House at my university. Like I know how like some of this like a lot of stuff works for like Indigenous Canadians, and like that's like an area where like I know a lot of stuff. And believe it or not, the Canadian like the Alberta school curriculum actually every single year in social you focus a lot on like First Nation stuff, like collective rights and like Haudenosaunee in the earth, like so much stuff. But like when it comes to like black people and like anti-black racism, that's not something Canada's very much. They're very much like the smug like little brother that still like believes very similar things to America, but keeps it on like the down low. Like Jordan sent me a paper about that he wrote about like white supremacy in Canada, and I mean that's absolutely true. We like Canada is better and way more socially progressive in America than like a lot of ways. We're not violent as we're like as violent. We don't have a lot of like as much like social reactionary stuff, but we still have a lot of the same problems as America does, just not to the same extent. You see a lot of Canadians just say, "Oh, then that means that we don't have any problems at all." No, Canada still does have a lot of those problems, and there like still needs to be like stuff done to fix that. And I feel like a lot of Canadians and then a lot of people on the left just don't treat these issues as seriously as they should. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
my spiel. That's the thing that I wanted to get out. Woo.
Absolutely. Well, no, I appreciate you taking the time to clarify. I always find that discussions are more productive, as we were talking about earlier. In a voice one-on-one conversation rather than back and forth on Twitter. The
Oh,
character
that's
limit
true. You have to
itself,
talk to the person. Yeah.
yeah, it's the format is just too restricting to have a nuanced discussion. Everyone's
Hmm.
going to take everything out of context and apply their own filter to it. Like the only way to get
Hmm.
to the bottom of the issue is just to have a conversation with somebody. So yeah, no, thank you again for coming on and being part of the show. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me tonight.
Yeah, of course. That was a lot of fun. I like the best way I try to be like productive on Twitter is that I try and talk on Twitter like I like if I'm like talking about like a point or whatever, I try and talk on Twitter like I do in a voice chat. And
Hmm.
you know, as like today, I'm not always the best at that, but most days I'm like I feel like I'm really productive and kind and good faith. with like Twitter stuff. If you keep in mind, like, don't say anything you wouldn't say in a voice chat to the person. There you go. Things are a lot easier. Like, discourse is a lot more productive, and you get to weed out the idiots very, very fast.
Yeah. Well, was there anything else you wanted to maybe cap off the night? Oh, Lucy has Ash thoughts on neo pronouns. Do you want to start a
Neo,
discourse?
yeah. So neo pronouns, like 97% of the time they're pretty based. The thing is with neo pronouns is most neopronouns are going to fall into these categories. They're going to fall into they, they're going to fall into they, they're going to fall into like ze or xe. They're going to be it, or they're going to be some variation on x self. And if you literally sit down and spend like 5-10 minutes just speaking these words out loud, they are not cumbersome to use at all. You just they're pretty easy to use. Just use them. The reason I say 97% is like you can hypothetically have like 12 syllable pronouns or whatever that are just completely impractical to use. So like not every combination of letters and words and sounds is going to be like a pronoun that's going to have any practical use. But first of all, the odds of you running into someone who uses a pronoun that's not a variation of what I laid out is pretty much zero. And all the pronouns I do laid out are very easy to use. Like the first time you heard they singular, you probably needed a couple minutes just to like test it out, get it under your fingers, get it under your tongue. You can do the same with fe. You can do the same with they. It like X self. These are easy. Like get over
Hmm.
yourself. Just use them. It's fine. I like it's not like, and the other thing is that it's not as bad as transphobia. That's why I say it's exclusionary. That's not to say that you shouldn't do it. Like you should still be obligated to do it. But I think that there is a meaningful difference between someone who doesn't respect like a trans woman's pronouns and then someone who doesn't respect someone's like they or it pronouns. Not to say that someone doing the latter is worse or is not bad, but the, someone who is transphobic doesn't respect like a trans woman's pronouns or like they them or whatever. That's going to reflect a lot more on their actual beliefs, how progressive they are, and their bigotry than someone who won't use they or it pronouns, even though they should still be obviously using those pronouns. And Lucy says, this is literally my take, and the reason that it's literally her take is because I gave this take to her. I am her PR
Congratulations.
lawyer. I'm also
Yeah.
Zoe's PR lawyer. I will be your PR lawyer too.
Okay. Well, I might need one, but so far I've been 100% correct on everything. So if I ever
Damn,
run into an instance where I
really?
fear like I might be 1% wrong, I'll reach out to you. I'll let you know. Okay.
Oh, perfect. That's true. I'm usually right on everything.
Yeah.
I've never been wrong. That's true.
Well, and that's funny too because I find myself agreeing with your opinions like almost 100% of the time.
Almost
So
100% of the time. Damn. When do
yeah.
you want? We gotta do some debates now. When do you?
Uh,
What's the 0.1% that you disagree? Gotta get the heated blood sports up. Get those views.
we got to get those views. I don't know, probably some food takes or something.
Yeah. I have weird food takes.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm autistic. It's just
Yeah.
I am physically impossible. Like I'm naturally averse to having good food takes.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very basic. I didn't eat my first taco until I was 19 years old, so
Oh my God.
I've got very
Don't
basic
worry.
food takes.
We had El Paso tacos, and
Ooh.
they're just like tortillas with like ground beef and cheese in them that you
Uh-huh.
buy at the store in packs. And um, one of my friends like dated someone from dated someone who like lived in Mexico and like was from Mexico, and he was literally like, if I ever see you buy that El Paso shit, I'm literally breaking up with you. I will not have this in my house. No fucking way.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good. That's
that's true.
good.
I do hate pizza. Pizza's an
Um
F tier food.
Chloe, I'm happy to have you on anytime you want.
That's
Just
true.
yeah.
Yeah, Chloe's been asking me to shout her out. Go follow Chloe. She's amazing. She is an inspiration for so much of what I do. She's helped out so many people. She's the best. She's the best roommate ever. I'm so happy I have gotten to meet and live with Chloe and call her my friend. Chloe is amazing. Um, Send her all the love and money and everything. She's just literally the best. I can imagine doing what she does and having the effect that she has. She's great. She's really great.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely go check out Chloe's stuff. I'll try to put on the YouTube video, I'll put a link to Chloe's stuff below all of your links, Ash, so we can get
Already.
all that going. But yeah, well, I guess we could wrap up here if nobody else has anything. Everybody good? Good?
Doesn't
Anything
look
else you
like
wanted to
we
talk
got
about,
any more
Ash?
questions. No, I think that's all. I'll eventually. Okay, last thing. I'm just gonna plug in the future. In like a couple of weeks, I'm gonna be starting streaming and starting to do some of that stuff. And I want to kind of be doing like some like interview stuff, like have discussions on topics. And like mainly what I feel like a lot gets missed on like political Twitter and political Twitch is how to actually like what can you individually can do. Like, yeah, it's fun to talk about philosophy and politics and greater ideas and have opinions on elections and all that. But like there are things you can do IRL, like places you can like donate, places you can volunteer, places you can canvas, places you can like spread the word, spread anything, like contacting your representatives, like all this stuff is really important and no one fucking talks about it. And I'm going to talk about it all the time. Whenever I talk about a political issue, I'm going to talk about what specifically you as an individual can do. So if that is exciting, please tune into that because I'd love to have great conversations and I think that'd be cool.
Awesome. No, I'm really excited for that. I think you're right. I think we are missing a lot of that. We're missing a lot of the call to action on the
Mm-hmm.
left, and I think we saw a lot of that from like some of the newer progressives that got into the U.S. here in the last couple of years. But
Mm-hmm.
they've been pretty good about starting action. But I think you're right. I think at the end of the day, if you find yourself after like enjoying your favorite political streamer going back and playing Minecraft with the rest of DGG or something, like you're not really having that much of an impact on the world around you. I think if you
Mm-hmm.
really like have these beliefs and want to change the world, I think you need to get motivated and get actionated.
Yeah.
And
Unironically touch grass. Go
yeah,
outside, touch grass, lay on that lawn. You will be
100%.
doing way more political change by laying on a lawn than you will by arguing semantics on Twitter.
Yeah.
Trust me. Trust me. You'll have more
Awesome.
fun too. Laying on a lawn's pretty cool, especially when you get the dew, but it's not wet. It's not like damp enough to make your shirt wet, but it's just there to get the nice morning fog. Much better than arguing semantics. Fuck semantics. Hate that shit.
Oh yeah. Just go outside and enjoy life for a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Well, all right. I guess we can wrap up here. Thanks everybody for coming out to Trans in the Am Friendly Friday. This will be on YouTube at some point in the future, but thank you all to the live audience for providing your questions and for some gracious entertainment. Thank you, Ash, for taking the time to be on the show. Of course, you're always welcome back. And yeah, I'm very excited to play Overwatch with you and see where your stream goes. This is very exciting stuff coming up.
Thank you so much. I'd love to be back. I'd love to come on any time. This was so much fun. I'm so happy this went so well. Thank you so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, my pleasure. Well, thanks again,
Yeah.
everybody. You all take care. Have a great night. Everybody stay unique.
Bye bye.